Hello. Hey, everyone. I am Chris O'Connor from State of Search by DFW SEM, and we are so excited to be here tonight. I can't tell you how excited I am. I am jumping out of my skin. The reason being is because the State of Search conference is right around the corner, literally just a couple weeks away. And tonight, we have the honor of having three of our speakers. One's a keynote speaker. To chat with us and let us know why you should be coming to State of Search here at the end of the month on the 28th and 29th in Grapevine, Texas. And I just can't tell you, Casey and I have so many things planned and so many things in the works that you want to be there. Our speakers don't even know these things, right, Casey? Yeah, we're excited. Yeah. Very, very excited. And it's giving me the goosebumps just thinking about it. But without further ado, what I'd like to do is introduce you to all three. And then we're going to start with Kavi. Kavi, when I read her bio, I was like, wow, this is so cool. And then I watched her videos and her Moz whiteboard. Isn't that what it was called? What was
Whiteboard Friday? Yep.
Whiteboard Friday. And I was like, oh my God, I got to have her. I got to have her. I got to reach out. And so I'm very honored to have Kavi here. And I don't even know, am I saying your name right?
You are. Yep. You got it.
Okay. All right. Good. So honored to have Kavi here. We also have Hank. Hank's been with us. What? This is your fourth year?
I think this is going to be my third, I think.
Okay, third year speaking. And Jared, I think this is your first year speaking. Woohoo!
We're excited. Oh yeah, first year speaking. I attended last year and had so much fun. I was like, I got to come speak at this now.
Well, good. Well, I'm going to let them individually introduce themselves, tell you a little more about who they are, but let's get started with Kavi. Kavi, welcome to the platform. Tell us who you are, what you're speaking on, why they need to come to State of Search. Have you been to State of Search before? And, just kind of tease us a little bit. Give us some teasers.
All right. It's really good to virtually meet everybody. I'm Kavi Cardos. I am the Director of Organic Growth at an agency called Client Boost. We're based out of California and North Carolina. I'm in Austin, so I'm just going to be making the drive up for State of Search this year. I am doing the Tuesday morning keynote, so hopefully everyone doesn't go too hard on Monday night to make it back bright and early on Tuesday morning. And my talk is on why your customer team is your greatest SEO ally. So when I say customer team, I mean really any customer-facing team. So this could be your sales organization, your customer service or customer experience teams. And I'll be talking about how SEOs and really any part of digital marketing, but especially SEOs, can partner with those customer-facing teams to create better websites, better content engines, and just serve your users better overall. So I'm really excited about this topic. It's going to be interactive and very cool, and hopefully give everybody some ideas to take back to the office with them to implement right away. And you also, oh yes, I have been to State of Search before, but it has been a few years. So I'm really excited to come back.
It was probably pre-COVID, wasn't it?
Definitely pre-COVID, yeah.
Yeah. Because there was 2 years that we did it online. Maybe it was 3 years. I can't remember. Two or 3 years we did it online. And then we've been live again for actually 3 years. We've been live again this will be our third year live. So, and we're rebuilding and restructuring and getting things exciting. So back when you came, there were probably 300-400 people, and you went to Gillies?
It felt like that. Yes, I think that's about right.
And that was back in the day when our meetings would have 200 to 300 people show up at the meetings. It was crazy. And I learned so much from so many people and was able to implement, a lot of things. But you also network with a ton of people too. And, I know a lot of people like to make relationships at conferences. I spoke about this last year, didn't I? My first talk, when we opened it up, I encouraged people to meet somebody new and create a relationship with them and stay with them all year long. I have somebody that I met, Dr. Karen. I don't even know what year we met, honestly, but it was at one of those Gillies conferences, and we made a commitment. And I'm not kidding you. Every Tuesday at 4:00, still to this day, we have a phone call and talk about what's going on in our lives and business lives and keeping each other motivated and keeping us on point. Because, sometimes we just need somebody to say, hey, no, what are you doing? And it's been a huge benefit to have that. Have you met somebody, Kavi, that you still keep in touch with?
I did attend State of Search with a former coworker. So we didn't meet there necessarily, but we got to go to the conference together, and it was really cool he was a paid search guy. So it was really cool to see, talks about how paid and organic can work together. And yeah, definitely met a ton of great people. And I think what I'm excited about here is that, I live in Texas, and I know that not every attendee is going to be from Texas, but I am looking forward to meeting, more people who I might actually be able to get a coffee with or get lunch with at some point than I do most other places. So yeah, really excited to see, what the Texas community has to offer and broaden those like in-person relationships a little bit more.
I think you're going to be able to. I mean, we've got speakers coming from, and we do every year, coming from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And Izzy and her husband are coming back. This is Philippe's first year to speak. Izzy's spoken a few times at our conference. And so, it gives me the chills thinking that people from England, and I think we had somebody from Germany last year, a couple of people from Germany come to State of Search. I mean, wow. To me, that says something, right? That this conference has been going on long enough and people want to come to it. They really, because I believe there's the how-tos, right? Just like you said, if people can take something back with them to the office and use that. So Hank, I always love your topic, and, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about yourself.
For me, first and foremost, it is the people that make this conference. And I know, Kavi, I saw you not too long ago in Vegas. We actually have collaborated in the past and worked at the same parent company is the best way to say that. And it's always going to be great to see you. And I won't stay up too late or party too hard. I want to definitely see your keynote. Tim, who's in the chat, I've met him in person after knowing him digitally for years. It was great to meet him in person. The first time I ever did was at State of Search. I met Izzy and Philippe there as well and have a relationship with them. And then Austin Armstrong was at one, and he's here in North Carolina, and that kicked us off to start having some lunches together, and we stay in touch via text. It's just great that having all those people around. And there's always an excuse of coming from North Carolina to Texas to get barbecue because there's real barbecue in Texas, right? It's always great to do that, but not to downplay the conference at all because it's always so vibrant and full of energy. Yes, I'm Hank Hoffmeyer. I am the digital marketing infotainer. I like to make marketing fun and successful, but I do have to pay the bills. I work for Kickbox. We're an email validation and deliverability consultation company. That's what I do. I do a lot of things for them. But my topic is the secrets of email marketing that no one's talking about, things you need to do to make sure your emails are getting delivered to the inbox, as well as AI. There's a lot of exciting changes, not scary changes, a lot of exciting changes with AI and being able to use that with email marketing. And I want to talk to the folks about that. And last but not least, using your email subscriber list and giving it some superpowers and having it fuel other areas of your marketing campaigns. It's going to be great. And I have a great themed deck, and I try to do some audience participation as well.
It's great. And, I have been a fan of Hank's for, I don't know, where did we meet, Hank? Do we meet through PubCon or something? Where did we meet?
I'm trying to remember where that was, or maybe it was Tim Shane that made an introduction or something. I remember because
No,
you
it
reached out and
was,
said you need to come to the conference. And
yeah,
we had a conversation. Yeah, I got to try to remember that. I don't
I
remember
know.
exactly where.
I usually do, but the older I get, the worse it becomes.
I just feel like we've known each other forever. That's the problem.
Well, it happens, right? You build relationships and it happens, and we have like-minded and synergy and, all that kind of good stuff going on. So Jared, tell us about yourself.
All right. Yeah. So my name is Jared Pulse. I've been in digital advertising, working with Google and Bing, and then I've dabbled in all the other platforms over the years. But Google and Bing has been my bread and butter for 8 years now. Started off with the Ford Lincoln program, did a lot of stuff with Lincoln during their big brand refresh. Then I did a year of general advertising and ran everything under the sun in different currencies and different languages and all kinds of different verticals. And now I've been with Imaginuity for 3 years. And I predominantly work with franchises, real estate, and restaurants, and absolutely just have a blast with the Google and Bing platforms right now. There's just so much fun strategy. So last year was my first year at State of Search. My coworker, Jenna, who sits across from me, was the one to introduce me. She hooked me up to be a volunteer and said, hey, you got to come to State of Search and volunteer with us. So I had just the best time and made a lot of friends. And I said, I've got to come back and speak because I'm doing some really fun out of the box stuff with search. And I'd love to present it and bounce ideas off people and show off some of the kind of the crazy stuff that I'm doing in my own projects and some of the stuff I've been building for my clients over the last couple of years.
Okay. Intrigued me. You intrigued me when you said franchise.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the third one?
Real estate.
Real estate.
Yes.
Oh my God. I mean, you are all over the place.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I have a great time.
But the benefit is you've got a plethora.
Oh yeah.
Of ways to go.
Yeah.
With the exception of the franchises, right?
Oh yeah. No, their franchise is probably one of my favorites to run. It's people looking to start a job. Okay. Yeah. There's so much you can do in that space because it's not B2C and it's not B2B. It's getting people into a business. So I have a great time building it. It's all out of the box strategies. Google's platform is designed for companies selling to consumers. Right. B2C is where Google's bread and butter is. Yeah. So when you're running campaigns that are not necessarily like that. So I've done stuff in medical. I've done stuff in business to business. You've got to get out of the box. You can't just do things the way that Google wants you to. And so that's my specialty, is finding kind of weird and creative ways to play around. But if you talk to your Google reps and you watch the Google presentations and all this stuff, it's all Performance Max and Max Conversions and automation and AI, and they got all these systems set up. But they're doing all these crazy things in the manual campaigns that they're never talking about. And so my presentation, the reason I wanted to speak is I want to shed some light on all of the fun stuff that's happening in the background that no one's talking about. So that's why I called it how to outperform Performance Max and outsmart smart bidding, because those solutions are not one size fits all. They work for a very specific niche set of verticals, but there's so many other fun things you can do in all the other verticals. And they've changed the way that keywords have worked. They've changed the way that ad copy works, that the ranking system works. And if you know those, you can build some really fun stuff. So first half of my presentation will be a lay of the land. And then I want to spend at least half the presentation just going through some examples of what these out of the sprout strategies actually look like.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm very excited to see what's new and happening just to keep up to date. I mean, I work a lot with small businesses.
Oh, yes.
And, small businesses don't understand Google.
Big ones don't either.
One iota.
Oh, no.
Franchises don't either. I'm going to tell you. I've worked with a couple franchises, and I found it very frustrating.
Oh, yes. Well, I have a lot of fun with that because oftentimes the key to being really good at paid search is being able to listen and hear what they want and then figure out what they actually need. Because most people don't know how keywords work. They don't know how.
Okay. Pause. Everybody out there in this world, did you hear what he just said? Repeat what you just said.
You have to listen to what they say and translate it into what they need, and then help them get to the results, not to what you want you to build. And that's true for your client and for Google, because Google will tell you to build stuff that helps them, but not necessarily your client. So you listen to Google, you listen to your client, and then you find the solution in the middle, and you use the best of column A and the best of column B and a little bit of secret sauce, and you can do some fun stuff.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm excited. I'm very
Save
excited.
me a seat.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, Jared, that is just as true on the organic side for sure.
Oh yeah. I sit next to our SEO team, and I always like to joke around with them because they'll be frustrated because the Google algorithm will be, burying their pages, or Google changed something and didn't tell them. And then I'll be like, all right, don't worry, I'll figure out something that Google hasn't figured out, and I'll get them back. So, I get a little bit of justice for our SEO team, and we have a lot of fun partnering together. And they share their keyword lists, and I share mine, and we kind of meet in the middle and have a great time.
That's pretty cool. Well, I have to say that I'm excited about AI. I know AI has been around forever. I've used AI forever. Do any of you ever read articles from Neil Patel, his Uber Suggest stuff? He just published a blog post, or whatever it is, what he calls it, about the three different about Gemini, about Copilot, and about ChatGPT. It's a pretty interesting article in how they tested it and what they found to be the better AI. Do any of you have any ideas? Casey, you're excluded because I sent you that article. Do any of you have any ideas what they chose overall?
What was the third one? ChatGPT, Gemini,
and Copilot.
I would say Copilot.
I'm betting Copilot.
Yeah. What do you think, Hank?
Yeah, I feel the same, but they could be leapfrogged at any time.
Oh yeah.
Well, anything can be leapfrogged anytime, right? But you are correct, Copilot. Now, honestly, okay, this is embarrassing, but I've never heard of Copilot. I've heard of the others. I was a big Writer fan, and I used Writer for years, but I haven't dabbled in Copilot at all. Have any of you?
Oh yeah, I've got a fun story about Copilot. Copilot magically appeared on everybody with Windows 10's desktop. It just pops up and it says, hey, do you want to try Copilot? There's no sign up. There's no nothing. It's at the bottom of your screen on Windows 11. And so a whole bunch of people started clicking on it. And when it sends you to a link, it doesn't send you to Google. It sends you to Bing. And so Bing traffic, people are sleeping on Bing right now. Bing traffic skyrocketed earlier this year. Just 2x, 3x, like out of nowhere. Certain verticals, Bing suddenly popped up because everybody was testing Copilot. And it has been a major driver of Bing. And another funny thing that almost nobody realizes is Bing Copilot can pull ads out of Bing. And most people don't realize it. You can't bid directly. We have asked our Bing rep multiple times, hey, can you tell us any insights? And it's all classified secrets. But technically, Bing Copilot pulls ads from Bing ads.
Wow.
They won't give us insights. They're not spilling the beans yet. But we've done some internal testing. We figured out that they're definitely, you can get your ads to show up in a Bing Copilot chat.
Okay. That's pretty interesting to me.
Oh yeah. We're very curious, but Bing they're not telling us anything yet. They're not giving us metrics. They're not giving us any insights, but we know it's there.
Maybe we'll start seeing sponsored results. This result was sponsored by Target.
Exactly. It's coming. It's coming. And see, Microsoft has the operating systems, not just the browser. Google has the browser. Microsoft has the operating system, and they are absolutely taking advantage of that. So I've got my eyes squarely on Bing right now. Don't sleep on Bing. Don't sleep on Copilot, because they've got access to the desktop, not just the browser.
Well, for years, especially in small business, like I am now, but not compared to what I was. But, all speakers and people like yourselves always said, don't forget about Bing. Don't forget about Bing, because, there's still, my generation is more a Bing than a Google, right? Mm-hmm. And so I never did, but, it's hard to get people to understand that it's worthy to be there.
Mm-hmm. And I think the dollars go a lot further there, and you get sometimes better results, and people just don't see that. Well, I mean, they don't, not that they don't see it, they don't realize that they could get it.
It's 90% of search is Google. And so you want volume, you got to go Google. Google has got the volume, they got it locked down, but you want the performance, big opportunities on Bing.
Look who joined us, Mr. Bill Hartzer. Hey, Bill, how are you? So glad to have you. The founder of State of Search. Imagine that. DFW SEM. We are excited to have you here. We should have brought him in on this conversation, huh? I just think it's, I think Bing has, it's a secret weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you use it right, it could be very valuable. Whereas we're all programmed, right, to Google. And Google has pounded into everybody's heads that they are the God, right? And, you don't want to go anywhere else. But, it depends on what the customer's searching for. Traffic's always nice, but, I need paying customers, right? So where do I go for the paying customers? That's what I look for. Well, look at that. Bing traffic tends to convert very well for a lot of sites. Yeah, it really does. And we've got the master in the room. I'm so excited that you came, Bill. Thank you so much. What else? What other things do you think are happening in this world? What are your thoughts for 2025? We are getting close to the end of 2024. What's new and great gonna blow our minds in 2025? Hank, start with you. What do you think?
I know there's going to be a lot of changes in real estate because I've recently tuned into that and started doing more investing there. There's these faux drops in the interest rates, but that's going to fuel the economy slightly different. I think next year people are really going to start watching what they're spending on. And there's just a lot going on with companies trying to bring people back to offices. So you might see some more relocations or people that are just going to start looking for other jobs. And I think that's going to translate into marketing where, brands have to fight for every dollar now to get people to convert. And then top that with AI, how it's reading things and it changes with email with summaries and stuff like that. And being able to take a blog article and have AI just summarize it for you. Your content, your ads, everything, your videos need to be so fine-tuned and yet try to target each individual person, but still make it appetizing for the masses, if that makes sense. I just think that really, gone are the days of the lazy marketer. Let's just slap an email together and send it out. Let's just do PPC and not care about how we're bidding or what keywords we're targeting or updating our website. I think that this is going to be a reckoning for marketers and teams, and AI is not here to solve all those problems. Everybody, every company, whether you're the solopreneur or you're on a marketing team of 20, everybody has to fire on all cylinders when it comes to marketing is probably my thought, because we have to get that piece of the pie when it comes to those shared dollars that are out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Kavi, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so and if we keep talking about AI, I could go on for hours. So I'll try not to do that. But I think that with the amount of market share that we're seeing in organic search being taken over by forums like Reddit and Quora, user-generated search results, essentially, the amount to which SEOs in particular and content creators are going to need to worry about appearing authentic and appearing to be not just, we've been talking about EEAT for a long time, but that experience piece, not just the authority and trustworthiness, but the, does this information come from somebody with real experience in it? Why do people look for things on Reddit rather than Google? Because they know for a fact that it's somebody who's got, a real life individual opinion, probably some real life experience with whatever it is they're talking about. And all of that content coming out of Reddit and Quora and, user generated forums like that also sort of is starting to exist in opposition to all of the AI created content that is flooding the internet currently, and that will just continue to flood the internet as LLMs have to start training themselves on their own generated data. I think people are really thirsty more than ever right now for genuine human created points of view, even if they're not particularly articulate, even if they're sort of, if they're not marketing speak, they don't sound like the marketing or the advertising language that we're used to. I think with the amount of flattening of content outputs that we're getting coming out of AI right now, that's the reason, or that's part of the reason anyway. Part of it is economics too, but that's part of the reason that these, Reddit results and things like that are on the rise. So I think if content creators want to take advantage of that, they need to start thinking like Reddit, start thinking like the searchers who are going straight to Reddit to answer their questions and asking ourselves, what do people really want to read? They don't want to read my marketing copy. They want to read something that sounds really human. So that's the way I see things going, sort of pendulum swing in the other direction over the next year or so.
I am so glad you said that because, all the clients I talk to, I really tell people that it's so important to humanize things, okay? When you humanize it, when people are going to react more to it, or they're going to listen, or they're going to read, or whatever the case may be. When you have just a very generic whatever marketing plan, generic website, no people in it, no interaction, no humanization, that's why you have bounce rates, right? Because they're not finding what they want to find. And if you just can, even take some images of yourself, if you're the owner doing something in your business, that can speak volumes and might flip the switch for one person, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really more about micro targeting to your audience. We've come a long way from the days of put up a billboard or your newspaper ad or whatever and catch as many eyeballs as you can. We need to be focusing on catching the right eyeballs at this point. They're the ones who affect your bottom line.
Absolutely. Jared, what about you?
Oh, I'm going to echo. I hope that the internet gets weird again. I'm hoping that everybody gets tired of it and gets crazy and gets human again. So that would be a wonderful change if we can break off of every YouTube video follows the same formula and everybody's got the same talking points. Let's get weird again. So from an internet standpoint, that's where I'm hoping things go. From a paid search standpoint, I'm going to talk about this in my presentation, but we're heading into the age of conquesting. And I'm genuinely excited. One of the big changes that Google made that no one's talking about is they are using intention-based bidding. If you take a keyword, Google will now match it up to just about anything at a phrase level. It used to be you had to go broad keywords to get broad matches. Now phrase is broad. And they just made that change and just kept moving. But that has huge implications. If I wanted to bid on every single burger restaurant in Texas, it used to be I would have to make a list of every single burger restaurant in Texas. It would take me 8 hours. It would take me a week, and I'd probably still miss half of them, right? If I want to do that now, I need one keyword, burger restaurants. And then I phrase match that, and Google will close variant match that to every single competitor. So if I'm working for McDonald's and I bid on burger restaurant, well, the Burger King's a burger restaurant, so now I'm going to show up against Burger King and Wendy's and some random guy named Joe who runs a small burger shack. I'm now showing ads against all of my competitors with one keyword. And that's mind-blowing. You've never been able to do that because I'm not using competitors' names. I'm not getting penalized for my quality score, my cost per click driven up. And so Google turned this on by default for everyone. So everyone's keywords now show up against everybody's competition list. And unless you're negating out your competition, you're showing ads against everybody. And unless you're in your search terms, you don't even realize it. And so more and more, Google has basically turned on a mode so that everybody's bidding on everybody. And as people start to get wise to this, we're going to see more and more people competing on brand terms like never before. And it's going to be, like Hank said, it's going to be fighting for every dollar. So it's going to be a very competitive landscape in the next year for Google search. It's going to be very, very competitive and very easy. Somebody turns off their search, their competitors can dogpile on them automatically without even having to bid on their name.
Yeah.
It's going to make it huge opportunities for small businesses, huge opportunities for people for people paying attention, for people reading their search terms regularly, just to find opportunities advantage. So I'm super excited about it because we've never really had good conquesting in any vertical, because you always had to bid against your competitors' names. Then you get a penalty. Then you get a quality score penalty. Then your bids get doubled, and it was just not worth it. But now with the new settings, you can bid on anybody you want to and set it up however you want. And you get a competitive ad or a competitive offer, and you can get some really good leads off your competitors' terms without them even realizing it. It's a lot of fun.
So I come from the garage door business, the slimiest business in the whole wide world.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I should still be in that business because,
my brother's in that business. So yeah, there's some opportunities right now.
Clicks are just ridiculously expensive. Back in my day, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, a minimum $50 to $60 for one click.
Oh yeah. It's still like that, and it's only gone up. And that's why it's such a big deal, because right now Google says, try Performance Max, try Max Conversions, and we'll use that to get your clicks down. But you can do it by using some of these other keyword lists and there's other ways to get it down that kind of gets around it. So it makes it makes it a lot more fun.
Yeah. So Bill had made a statement for SEO, and Bill, you had talked about this probably, I don't know, you put it on Facebook or wherever maybe it was Twitter, I read it, and he talked about this. We all should be focusing on entity SEO, not necessarily keywords only. And I want to tell you, Bill, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Casey and I worked on a project and we tested this. And everything we did on that website, just for giggles and grins, because, you got to test everything, right? Everything was done with entity SEO in mind, everything. And that guy, who's no longer my client, but we rebuilt his website. Okay, his website was disgusting. Paragraphs were H2s. Anyways, it was disgusting. Look at Casey. Yeah, because that's how bad it was. Okay, that's how bad it was. So I told Casey, I said, let's play this game. Let's try everything that Bill recommended. And I do it on everything I do now, Bill, because of you. Every time I learn something from you, I'm telling you it's a gold mine. So his traffic now has quadrupled in the last 2 months. And he's a tuxedo shop. You don't think he's making some money? Yeah. Yeah. So I learned that absolutely when Bill Hartzer speaks, listen and implement, because it really does work. It really, really does work. Casey, what do you have? Do you have anything that you want to input or any questions you have for these guys?
No, I got a question generator that I can go through. That'd be a whole lot of fun.
Well, let's play that game. We did that before and it was fun. Let's do that. Let's do that. We have probably about 5-10 minutes and 10-15 minutes left in our time frame. So let's play some Yahoo generation ? Mike, what do you mean by that?
I think it maybe was bring back the Yahoo generation, those types of folks. My wife still uses Yahoo for email.
I'm still Yahoo. I still have a Yahoo. I'm one of those, but I also have Gmail. So, I did get rid of my Hotmail and AOL. Does that make you feel better? Okay. Yes, that gives away my age. I know it does. It's all good. It's all good.
All right, Hank. If you could debunk one myth about email marketing or automation with email marketing, what would it be? Why do so many people believe in it?
Well, what is it? Every year they say email marketing is going to die or it's dead, and they want to put that last nail in the coffin. But it's gotten stronger over the last few years, especially around influencers and people on social media growing their followers to millions and millions, and then their account gets banned and they don't have access to it and they can't get in touch with their followers anymore. Where with email marketing, you pretty much own your list and it's portable and you can take it anywhere. That was an easy one. I mean, yeah, the death of email marketing. Another myth is, opens are dead. Well, maybe it's not a myth because they're not as accurate anymore, but opens are still important because they affect other signals, and they can be used for certain things as well. But yeah, most importantly is email is still a strong marketing channel.
Hey, in this program I'm in, that's all they talk about is email marketing. Build your following, build your list, build your list, build your list. And I'm telling you, it's how their businesses are growing exponentially. Email marketing and building their lists and getting, starting small and getting 500, 1,000, 20,000, 50,000 people on their email list. And they've literally just like blossomed and blew up their business with products that they carry or, subscription box. I mean, it's amazing. This is an arena that I've known about but haven't dabbled in, and I'm starting to dabble in it, and it's pretty exciting. It's very, very exciting.
And to add on to that, you said build your list, but you have to build your list and send to it frequently. There's so many people,
Yes.
especially small businesses, they build a list, but they hardly ever send to it. I was on a call with someone the other day and we were looking at their list. They're like, wow, I have more subscribers than I thought I did. And I said, when's the last time you sent to them? They were like 3 or 4 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm going to ask you a quick question before Casey asks the next question. How often should you email?
That's a loaded question because it
is.
depends on what industry, what types of subscribers you have. If I sell like merchandise, like clothing, and I always have new drops, you might want to know about it every day. I'm on, oh God, what is it? There's a newsletter I'm on, but it's about marketing. It's every single day. Stacked Marketer, right? And I get it every day, and I don't unsubscribe because it's valuable to me. But if you're a life coach and you're going to email me every single day, I'm probably going to unsubscribe and may think about hitting that spam button. It depends on, number one, your industry and what you're doing. B2B once a month is usually good, or maybe every other week. It just depends. If you sell what do you want to call it, industrial products, and you're always having new and updated items and products to sell, maybe twice a month is okay. But once a month would probably be good for that. Retail, more, especially if your brand is on fire and you have a lot to talk about and a lot to offer, people are going to want that. Like Kohl's, say they sell pretty often. It's a department store here. I don't know if it is nationwide, but they're not as big as they used to be. Or like a Macy's, right? They can get away with every day or a few times a week. It just depends. Talk to me about it if anybody has questions.
Yeah. Welcome, Beth. Boy, she's a blast from the past too. And Amal. So excited you guys are here. What's your next question, Casey?
All right, for Kavi, how do you see AI innovations like Google's search generative experience changing the way SEO professionals need to think about our content strategies?
This is also a loaded question.
I know. You said not to say anything about AI because we could be here forever. And I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do tonight.
Yeah, I'll be perfectly honest. I am a bit of an AI doomer, so I'm sort of probably the opposite opinion from most folks in the room and most folks watching. But as far as AI overviews go, I think the panic that has begun to set in around those, or at least the panic that was sort of cresting the wave a couple of months ago when those were first announced and we started seeing them in search, reminds me a lot of the panic that came about when featured snippets arrived on our SERPs. And everyone thought, oh, well, here goes all my search traffic. Everything is going to be zero-click search from here on out. That's proving not to be the case, at least for most of my clients, which is good news. I think that the answer to how do I optimize for this is the same as it has always been for all of organic search since the dawn of time. Write what your users want to know. Give your users what they want. It is no different in AI overviews than it is in featured snippets, than it is in, back when we were just doing 10 blue links on the page. The engine that runs AI overviews is pulling the content that it thinks people want to see. Same thing with the way that traditional search results are organized. If you're putting the type of content on your site that is genuinely useful and that answers people's questions, it's more likely to show up in all of those places. So it's just about understanding who your audience is, what they're searching for, and making sure that you're addressing their needs and answering their questions as best as you can.
Cool. Casey?
All right. Jared, you're up. So let's go with Google Performance Max.
All right.
At what point did you realize that you'd found a better strategy, or just working with it? Okay, I'm not a PPC guy. Normally we have Kevin here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more SEO. Kevin's PPC.
Yeah, I had a great time hanging out with Kevin last year.
Mm-hmm. So normally he'd be like, "Hey, that was a stupid question, Casey. Why would you ask that?" So
Performance Max has a use case, but it's so much more limited than what they want it to be. It was fairly quickly in the real estate space where we saw the hard limit of Performance Max, because Performance Max assumes that your lead flow is it's a medium, what I call a medium-sized funnel. So it's not a spontaneous purchase like a lunch order, like a restaurant, but it's also not buying a house where it takes over a month, 2-3 months sometimes to buy a house. It really wants a medium length funnel to be really good. It wants a very clear product. It wants business to consumer. It has a bunch of restrictions, and it also wants an uncapped budget. If you talk to your Google reps, they'll tell you got to use an uncapped budget, give us as much money as possible, write us a blank check. And then it's 2 weeks of learning phase. And that was the first big red flag, was 2 weeks of learning phase. If you go in and watch what's going on during the learning phase, I'm a bit of an AI doomer from this too. You look at what it's doing, and it's spending $400 on one click. It's trying to spend, try to get 400 clicks with $1, and it's trying to do this, and it's trying to do that. And it's trying to find something that sticks. And if it finds a good lead, it can stick. But if it finds a bad lead, it finds a bogus lead, it finds an accidental form fill, and it decides that that's the way to go, suddenly you got a big problem on your hands. And so that was the big limit, is that 2 week learning phase. That's half a month. That's half a month your client's sitting there going, where are my leads? That's not acceptable in my book. Like we got to play harder than that. And so that was the big, hey, there's a problem here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Casey?
You may keep going.
What time is it? Oh, no, let's do closing remarks.
Okay.
I'll start with you this time, Jared.
Oh, for me?
Yeah,
Closing remarks.
Mm-hmm.
You got to come to State of Search. There's some amazing people, some amazing things going on in the industry, and you're not going to hear a better place from all the different speakers. I'm so excited to be coming back again and hearing what's going on in the different industries. It's easy for me to kind of keep my head down over the paid search, but I love listening to SEO people and salespeople and email and all of the other pieces, the guys talking about YouTube and all of the other things that I don't really mess with as much. It's always fun to hear and learn what they're experimenting with. And even if you're not a paid search guy or a paid search gal, there's a lot you can learn just from how we're playing with the industry, how we're trying new things and experimentation. So you can learn something from anyone, and there's a good group of people to come learn from.
Absolutely. Kavi?
Yeah, I'm just really excited too. I'm really looking forward to this conference, really looking forward to seeing everybody in person. And like you said, Jared, learning from people who work in different niches within this sort of broader industry is always really interesting to me. I know in my role, it's really important to, go back to work and provide ideas and sort of get the ball rolling on how we can all collaborate with each other in an agency setting. That's often really important, not to just let SEO sit by itself, but to say, okay, how can we collaborate with our email service or our paid search service or whatever it is. So I'm really looking forward to picking up some ideas there and bringing them back with me. And just, this is a really good time of year to be in Dallas too. The weather's finally getting nicer and it won't be miserably hot there anymore. It's going to be really, really nice. So I know we only have a few tickets left, but if you haven't gotten one yet, now's the time to snag
Yeah,
one.
I think we're down to like 15 left. 15,
Yeah,
my
that's
friends, 15 tickets left. That's it. Only 2 weeks to go. I'm so excited. Hank, what about you?
This conference is full of great people sharing great knowledge, and it's not just from the stage. And I always like to say at conferences, a lot of times the magic happens in the hallways is a phrase I use. There's so many times, or the last 3 years that I've been there, sitting down during the breaks and lunch, whatever it is, and just talking to other people, and the takeaways from somebody's session, or challenges or successes people are having, and meeting great people and connecting with them on LinkedIn. It's a great time to socialize as well as up your skill level and knowledge. And for some of us it's sharing our knowledge. But every time I go, because I'm not heavy in SEO, I used to actually help the brand I'm with SEO, but not anymore much. And it's always great to stay in the know, just in case I ever have to hop back in that seat. Hey, Hank, we had so-and-so leave the company. Can you come help us with this for the next 3 months? At least I won't feel like I got smacked over the head with a pen. I'll stay in the know, especially with, Jared and Kavi's information and all the other speakers. It's going to keep all that information in my brain fresh. And then I could share my information about email marketing. I hope to see old friends and make a lot of new ones.
I can't tell you guys, we are like, oh my gosh, we're down to the 9th hour, right? Or the 9th inning or whatever you call that. And I just got the chills thinking about it. Casey just said to me the other day, he says, man, I'm getting really excited for this conference. And I'm like, yeah, me too. It's been a long year of processing all of this and making the changes that we've made and the additions that we've made. And I'm really excited to roll this out to even our speakers don't know. This is what's so fun about this whole thing, is everything's going to be new and a surprise. But then again, it's not. Does that make sense? So I'm just very, very excited. And something just hit me. Hank, what do you call that thing behind you that's making all that? I need one that has light bulb moments. And every time I have a light bulb moment, I need to hit it so it goes off. Or maybe we need to put light bulb moments on the tables for everybody. And when they get a light bulb moment, they hit that light and it goes off. Now, wouldn't that be fun?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I'm digressing, going off into the marketing world, which I don't need to be doing that anymore. Casey, do you have anything else for us?
Nope. I'm looking forward to having everybody there. Oh, if you want to get tickets, the tickets are still up, and my birthday code, that's birthday, may still be working. So I would use it. It's
Hint,
20% off.
Hint, hint. Just for anybody who's watching now that wants to come to the conference, you can save some money on your ticket. And thank you so much, Hank. Thank you, Kavi. Thank you, Jared. And by the way, Jared, you might need to move to Austin if you want to make it weird, because keep Austin weird, right?
Maybe you can help us out in that department. We're suffering a little bit these days.
Because that's the whole thing about going to Austin, right? Is keeping it weird. Anyways, in 6th Street, because it's always weird on 6th Street. Although I haven't been there in several years, it might have cleaned itself up, but it's a fun place to go. Maybe we need to do this in Austin sometime. Anyways, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming. Those who are in the audience, I am thrilled that Bill came tonight. Thank you so much, Bill. I am thrilled that Beth came tonight. I am thrilled that Amal came tonight. Tim, Mike. All of these people who came tonight that I see that made a response. There's probably quite a few others online that I don't see that haven't made a comment. Thank you so much for being part of State of Search for so many years. I am very, very grateful and very honored to be the chairperson. I love what I do, and I hope that you guys are going to love this year too. So with that being said, thank you all for being here. We'll see you in a couple weeks.